Of the €80 billion of public funding available through the EU's Horizon 2020 project, 700 million has been allocated to the 5G PPP. Of this, 125 million has already been granted to 19 projects in Phase 1, one of which is 5G NORMA, Novel Radio Multi-Service Adaptive Network Architecture.
There are currently 19 projects running. They are covering a large range of topics in the area of 5G, so ranging from physical layer up to the architecture, with the scope to really design the end-to-end 5G system.
5G NORMA specifically focuses on a 5G network architecture. So kind of what comes next after 3GPP LTE? We have Deutsche Telekom, we have Orange involved, we have different vendors, Alcatel-Lucent originally, now joined forces with Nokia, also involved in the project. We have NEC. We have, and this is actually also a very European Commission focused area. We have SMEs involved, as well as research institutes and universities. It's running till end of 2017. And the result shall be a future-proof architecture. So we want to come up with a draft of a network architecture that somewhat integrates what is existing and is future-proof in a sense, whatever comes in the next 10, 15 years. And they will be publicly available. And there will be some of them a little more high level, so to understand, okay, what is the direction that we go, like network slicing, how is it implemented, software-defined mobile network control, which is also a central element, and flexible function placement. And those are more, let's say, buzzwords, more high-level buzzwords, but there are also deliverables, so publicly available deliverables, which go into detail. So what is really the bit and what is really the piece that you have to change, that you have to implement in order to enable a 5G architecture. So first you have the pure network area. So we have there the so-called data plane, the control plane. You think about, where do I execute functionality? Can I virtualize it? So can I use commodity hardware to execute network functions? How much can I centralize them versus how much do I have to distribute it to enable short latency? Or if I centralize it, I have multiplexing gains. But those are really networking topics. And then we have lots of management and orchestration. So because you need a mechanism to tell the functions where they have to be instantiated, what is the right one. You have to control them, their behavior, they have to monitor them, so failure recovery, for instance. And then we are on the service layer, so that means who is using it. Yeah? So how are operators then talking to each other once they're using our architecture? Or do we even have completely new stakeholders, like in the automotive industry? If you have a BMW then using its own network, they don't deploy base stations, they just want to use a network, and then you have to offer the right interface for that. So it's really kind of a multi-layer approach, and in each area with its own research challenges.
We want to build the basis for the standardization with this work, and for this there are two working groups that I want to mention here. So one is the 5GPP architecture working group that I am chairing, and this working group has just released a first white paper which present the 5GPP view on the 5G architecture, which includes the combination of view from 16 of the EU funded project within the 5GPP initiative. Then there is a second working group, which is called pre-standard working group, which is also taking input, so concept input, and deriving the standardization roadmap.
King's College London, itself a member of the 5G NORMA project, hosted a summer school to present the latest work from 5G NORMA and to create a forum to exchange ideas between the telecoms community and vertical industries.
We feel it's a good time now because we start to get a really good grip on what 5G really is all about, and it's time to educate the crowd because you don't want to design things and then you have nobody understanding what it's all about. King's deals a lot with the architecture design within King's, so we're really trying to help to give a coherent story to the software-defined networking approach. We also deal with security. We're trying to use novel artificial intelligence approaches to really quantify security and monitor security. We started designing 3G before the internet came along. We started designing 4G before the iPhone came along. We don't want to repeat that mistake actually and just wait for something to happen, okay? So what we really want to do is we want to involve the future stakeholders into the system design. So the co-design with verticals who really we want to empower in their processes and everything to make them more efficient, more effective. It's really agenda item number one here also with Kings. So we deal a lot with the the health sector because Kings is very good in health, and then we deal a lot with the transport sector as well, TfL, with Heathrow, etc. We deal a lot with the art sector, very, very interesting projects, really disrupting the way how the artists will, perform, because London is very good in art, right?
There is a strong interest from the arts community to integrate technology. We want to break down the walls of the theater, right? And we want to bring in different theaters together or different kind of scenes like the streets or virtual reality room or something like that all together in the same place. We have a complete symmetric requirement here. So we have to increase capacity, we have to improve latency, and so this millisecond latency that everybody's talking about in 5G, it's not a millisecond, but it's quite short if you're talking about augmented reality or real time. If you have a stable latency from stage A to stage B, then you can bring a creative solution to that. But the problem is that the latency is not stable, and if we need to play together, then if we are out of sync, that's a major problem. So I think that theater is going to change in a way that the cinema has changed as well, right? So theater content is going to be able to be available for everyone. I am going to be able to watch a concert in New York in my home with virtual reality.
So I hope people understand that 5G is not just a marketing hype term, really. It is something very tangible. It is a very strict engineering framework, which we are now carrying out. Clearly, the actual technical work needs to be standardized as part of the releases in 3GPP. But everything around it, I think, is really the whole engineering contribution, academic contribution, the contribution by the vendors, by the telco operators, by the verticals. So it's something which is real, very different to maybe 2 years ago. So it's really time to get hands-on.